Now you might be like, wait, you can't make this video. You have to do the other random game day. No, according to this tweet, I can have a minimum of 1 video in between each random game day for reasons summarized too. I wanted to make other stuff. Now let's get on to the video. Peggle 2, the game that everyone saw and was like, oh, that's neat. Clicked on the ad, saw the art style, and said, nope. Peggle 2 was made in 2013 and was made by PopCap like the first game. But this time it's published by EA, which might be the reason why it looks like this. I mean, what were they thinking? Part of what made Peggle 1 so good was its charm, and then now in Peggle 2 we have this. Something else I think is interesting is that this is Peggle 2 even though there's all these. But let's look up the definition of a sequel. A published, broadcast, or recorded work that continues the story or develops the theme of an earlier one. Well, it does continue the story, but so does Peggle Knights. I guess it does make sense though, because Peggle Knights and all of them are just either ports or just the same game with new levels, music, and backgrounds. So I guess it really is Peggle 2. I really wish it wasn't. Many people didn't even give Peggle 2 a chance because it looks terrible. But I decided to be different and actually give this game a chance. So I booted up the Xbox, downloaded Peggle 2, and pressed the A button. But I didn't have any battery, so I ran and got those and then pressed the A button, and well, everything's pretty normal. Ow, what the fuck is that? So this is the main menu. Yeah, this is the kind of character design we're dealing with. We do have a familiar character here, and that's the mascot himself, Bjorn. Oh, God. Well, maybe a lot of the old cast will be here. They are. This leads me into my first topic, characters. There are only 5 without purchasing DLC, and Bjorn is the only one from the first game. 5 characters is ridiculously low, and the fact that they're all new can be a good and bad thing. There are 2 DLC characters too. This fairy Owlbird and Jimmy Lightning, who's in the first game, except now he looks like the kid in kindergarten who snorted straight Smarties. I mean, the new characters overall have pretty average designs. They aren't really original in any way. The most original one in the whole game is this person. Everyone else has super unoriginal character designs, but besides that, let's talk about each character and their super abilities. So first we have Bjorn, or Bjorn if you want to say it the right way. He, of course, has his super guide, which still sucks. Nothing has changed in any way besides his design. I hate it. Then we have Jeff. Don't make the freaking joke, I swear to.
My name is Jeff.
I'm gonna freaking kill you! Jeff is a hairy ogre, which has been done in many other places, but okay. He also has goats. I don't really know why. It kind of reminds me of Bo Peep's sheep from Toy Story. His super is Boulder, which is Fireball from the first game, except it's bigger, and this happens. So overall, pretty decent power-up. Then we got Berg. Berg is a Yeti. I think he has a pretty good design, and his super is pretty cool and original too. It's basically when he hits pegs, they slide all over the place like that. And they hit pegs.
Precisely!
Man, this character is actually pretty cool. Oh my god. Next we have Norman with a G. He is my favorite character in this game. He has great design, great vibe, great super, and we're not on this yet, but great levels. And finally, Luna, who has pretty dumb design, honestly. She's scary, spoopy doll, zombie thing. But anyway, her super's fine. Then we have the 2 DLC characters, which I have not played. I mean, I know Jimmy Lightning super. You get 2 balls, because I don't know, the more the merrier. Then there's Wendy, who has the best design in the game, but I don't know her super. Let's see what it is. So it makes more pink pegs. That's broken. In this game, pink pegs are insane. This leads on to the next topic, gameplay. Now, yeah, the gameplay is mostly the same, so this will be short. However, the gameplay is overall just kind of better. Like, it's more polished, the physics feel more real, there are more aiming options for people on console, and there's the pink pegs, which are literally mentally insane. They are basically just a free ball if you hit it. However, you might miss pegs that you have a chance of hitting. It's a huge gamble, which is pretty much a whole new mechanic added into the game. Okay, I don't know what I was on when I was writing the script, but pretty much almost everything I just said is not what I stand by at all. The physics are way dumb, and they just don't work with Peggle at all. Pretty much every time. It makes the game too easy. The physics make it so that you pretty much get a free ball every time because bouncing doesn't make any sense. I mean, look at that. That's not how physics work. The gameplay, yeah, sure, there are some parts which are better, but overall, it's not better than the first one in any way. So, yeah. I'm also going to add modes into this category because, I don't know, future me is tired from editing. So you, of course, got your single-player experience. You hit all the red pegs without losing all your balls. If you hit the green peg, then you get your special ability, which I already went over. In this game, there are actually 10 levels with every character than the 5 we had in the first game. Now, I understand why they did this. They only have 5 characters, not including DLC. So just make more characters! The 10 levels make the character get old so quickly, and you just want to move on. Having to play 10 whole levels is ridiculous. However, a positive is that in this game, there are optional objectives, such as clear every peg or get a score of 750,000. Now, this is great for replayability. However, they aren't very fun to complete. Like, yeah, sure, they add more objectives to the game, which is something Peggle needed, but they need good objectives. Like, I don't want to win as Bjorn in a stage that clearly wasn't made for him. Something else is the level design in this game. Is it fair to call it level design? I don't know, it's better than fucking peg placement. Anyway, the level design in this game is super on and off, but mostly off. Most of the time, the level design doesn't really fit the character. It just outlines the background, which is really dumb, because then you can't even see the background. Speaking of backgrounds, they suck. There are a couple I can think of that are cool, but most of them are just random things that aren't interesting. This single-player mode, or story mode, is just a huge mixed bag. There are things that are great, but so many bad things. Then we got multiplayer. Unlike the first game, this game has online compatibility. They fucked the multiplayer. They really should have changed how the duel works. It's not fun in any capacity whatsoever. I don't care if I can play Peggle to a duel with my friends during quarantine. I'd rather shoot myself. Basically, with duel, you and your friend takes turns shooting and playing Peggle. You try to get the highest score. That's it. Then there's also Peg Party, which I haven't played yet because I couldn't find a match. But it looks like Duel, except everyone has their own screen and there are 4 people. The multiplayer kind of trash, not gonna lie. Then something else on the main menu is the store, where you can, of course, buy Jimmy Lightning and Windy or skins? Why the heck are there skins in this game? All of them look terrible and seem like Illumination jokes. Like, let's turn Norman into a girl, haha, funny. Like, I don't care about any of these costumes. It's just something that's there for no fucking reason. Then we got trials, which are included in the story mode. These are by far the best part of this game. These trials have little objectives that challenge you and are just so much fun to complete. They make you better at the game, too. You not only learn more about the game, but you learn more about the character. There are 10 trials for each character. They all have something to do with the character involving their super. They are so innovative and creative and make you play Peggle in a whole new way. That's just so cool. Trials are so good and all of them have great objectives. Now I just thought this up to be a category because it matters in a game like this. Difficulty. There isn't any. Bjorn has some of the easiest levels I've ever fucking seen. It makes sense because he's the first character, but there are only 5. Jeff is incredibly easy. Burke had 2 hard levels, and I thought that was the difficulty spike, but then Norman's levels were freaking easier than Bjorn's. Luna is easier than throwing this game in the trash. And the Celestial Realm you'd think would be really hard like the first game, but I beat 8 of the levels first try, and the other 2 I beat third try. That's ridiculous. With a game like Peggle, you need to have difficulty because otherwise you're stuck with just shooting balls. Like, let's be honest, Peggle gameplay is okay, but when it's difficult, it's incredibly fun. With this game, you just shoot balls. I think part of what makes this game so easy is the possible amount of free balls you can get. Not only are pink pegs basically just a free ball if you hit it, but the physics make it to where you could not be anywhere close to the free ball bowl at the bottom and somehow bounce it in. If you're gonna add in mechanics that add more free balls, then make the levels harder. It's really frustrating because difficulty is a big part of this game and they don't even have it. Next up we have music, sound effects, and overall sound design. Man, where to start? Music is important to Peggle, considering that it's what you'll be hearing 90% of the time. In the first game, you had very jazzy, chill music that was absolutely perfect for Peggle. Fit the vibe and also the gameplay. You need chill music because Peggle is a chill game. If you have something crazy like this, like, yeah, I like this, but it doesn't work for Peggle. Why couldn't they have done what Peggle Knights did? They stuck with the overall vibe of chill music, but it had its own sound, and it worked perfectly to where it all themed and blended together so well. Peggle 2 decided to say no and have one of the themes be reloading gun noises for 2 hours. Not anywhere does this man have a fucking gun! Let's go through all the songs in the original soundtrack, top to bottom. So we start with Peggle Splash. It's literally not even a song. It's the opening where it introduced PopCap. I don't understand why this is in the OST and also why it exists. We don't need this for the opening of your company name. Anyway, next we have Morning Mood. It is a classical song that isn't original, therefore, why is it in the OST? Then we have Bjorn's theme. This is where overall theming of this game comes into play. With Bjorn, they go for a fantasy vibe, which you can tell. However, this theme is incredibly inconsistent. We'll talk more about that later. For now, this does not fit Peggle in any way, shape, or form. Sure, it may be somewhat chill, but it doesn't have that iconic drums or bass in the back. Nothing has the theme that every other Peggle game had. When I played this game, I expected raw Peggle fun. The music in this game took all the charm away, and it's just not the same. This is a great example of a way how this game failed. For me, because IGN thinks that this game is great, but I'm more qualified for this job. Anyway, let's move on to Ode to Freaking Joy. It's another classical song that's not original. Next, we have Jeff's theme. Something that literally just popped into my head is the names of characters. I wasn't planning at this at all, but I'm gonna talk about this. In the first game, we have unique names like Tula, Master Who, Lord Cinderbottom, Spork. Then in this game, we have Jeff, Norman, Luna, Win. Anyway, here's Jeff's theme. Yeah, this might be the single worst piece of music I've ever heard. Now, something to give to this piece is that later on, it gets similar to what I want out of Peggle soundtracks. Now, it still sucks, but it's close and I can appreciate that. Also, can we talk about how much it doesn't fit the character? Like, why the fuck is there a trumpet? What the heck does Jeff have to do with a trumpet? I think they should have evaluated in the whole drum thing. They had to, except make it good. Let's move on to, you guessed it, another fucking classical song. Next we have Berg's theme, which is a good overall piece of music, and it does fit Berg. It has sleigh bells in the back hinting to Crispus, which could be a theme of Berg because he is a Yeti. So overall, this is nice. Unfortunately, it does not fit Peggle. It's not chill and calm. I mean, it's not like aggressive. It's not going, I'm gonna f you. I just don't think it's calm enough to fit the calm gameplay that Peggle provides. Next, we got some classical theme music. Then we have Norman's theme. So as I said earlier, Norman is overall my favorite character in this game. His theme, like this game, is a mixed bag. We, of course, have the reloading gun. And the aggressive bop this part is. And then this average son of a bitch. But it doesn't fit Peggle. I like the music itself, and I think it fits Norman, but they can't just manage to get it to fit into the gameplay of Peggle. You don't feel right playing this game with this song in the back. Then classical, yada yada. Then we have Luna's theme. I got some stuff to say about this one. It fits Luna really well, and it is calm, but oh my god, this is bad. When I said we needed calm music, yeah, well, I need actual music. This song sucks. It doesn't fit Peggle, it's boring, it's just an overall a mess. I shiver thinking about what comes up after the classical piece. Bjorn's theme SCN TFC remix. What the fuck is that? Okay, it's pretty normal. Okay. They hip-hopified a Peggle song. Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious, but jeez, it's so bad. This is the music used in Trials. I'm mad because the best part of the game has the most dumb music I've ever seen. Honestly though, what about Peggle makes you think hip-hop? Like, did someone look at this and say, yep, Lil Mosey? Then there's the remix of Jeff's theme. And it's pretty much what I wanted out of it. They stuck with the drums that we had in the first theme and then added a new melody that doesn't fit the character, but I mean, it sounds cool. And I'll accept that at this point. Then we have Berg remix. So with this one, the hip-hopified Christmas music. What the f? It sounds like Pitbull and Sean Paul worked together to make a Christmas song. I don't like that. Next. So, I like the song. They basically just made a whole new song, but with the gun reloading noises in the background. It doesn't fit Norman or Peggle at all, but you know, is this game even trying at this point? Alright, next. Luna's remix. I fucking hate it. I don't know why, but all I can imagine are those bad guys from Trolls, and that makes me want to throw up. It fits the character, but like really, really, really doesn't fit Peggle. Next. So this is the lobby music, and it's literally just barbershop quartet of Ode to Joy, and that's the soundtrack. Mostly, it's bad and doesn't fit the gameplay of Peggle, but you know what, okay. The sound design, I don't have much to say besides hitting pegs isn't as satisfying. Now the final category of the day is overall theming. They try to go with a fantasy theme many times, then they just make a character that's a zombie, which if I remember correctly, doesn't have anything to do with fantasy, but you know, whatever. My final thoughts of the game. It's a huge mixed bag and downgrade from the first game, but it does some things right. I wish they would have stuck with what the first game gave them, but they tried something new and the rest didn't pay off. 6 out of 10. Mediocre sequel to an amazing game. Hey, hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, then make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.